It appears there's a China biotech gold rush as U.S. investors and pharma giants, they look to the world's second largest economy in a new quest for new drugs and new remedies. Our Angelica Peebles has taken a closer look. Angelica, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Frank. Everyone is talking about China right now, and almost 30% of big pharma deals with at least $50 million up front came from China last year. That's up from 20% the year before and 0 in 2019. In the span of just a few days in December, Merck announced 2 licensing deals with Chinese companies, and that really got people's attention. So what's going on? Investors and industry insiders tell me that Chinese companies are creating better molecules than ever before, and a whole lot more of them. Plus, in China, you can test those compounds in humans faster and at a lower price than you can in the U.S. Buyers have also figured out the business model. They essentially import the drugs they want through licensing deals versus acquiring companies outright, which is a little bit harder. And investment in China has also dried up, so more companies there have to do deals. Now, the big debate is what this all means for the U.S. biopharma industry. Different people give you different answers. Some people say this is actually a good thing, because if you could develop the drugs faster and at a lower cost, you could ultimately lower drug prices here in the U.S., and obviously there's appetite for that. But other people see this as a huge threat to the U.S. biotech industry, because if the Mercks of the world can find better, less expensive drugs in China, they might not need to buy the American startups that are banking on being acquired. So this is a big trend that we're keeping an eye on, Frank.
Yeah, some interesting dynamics here. So during the Biden administration, they actually put export controls on biotech equipment to China. When we're looking at biotech, how does that compare to how at least this administration is expected to view tech? Do we have any concerns that Washington might intervene and kind of interrupt some of what we're seeing here?
Well, that's one thing that everyone I talk to has their eye on, right? This question, people compare this to almost the DeepSeek moment that we saw in AI, where you saw a company in China saying that it could do something just as good for a fraction of the price. And obviously, you've seen the reaction. You saw what happened to the stocks that day, and all this talk about in Washington about having these protectionist policies in terms of tech. And so there is a question, this concern that maybe we might see that here if you do continue to see more of these deals. At this point, I haven't heard anything, but it's something that everyone is watching very closely.